Good day, I be to all. Today I'll be presenting the data that I've collected for my thesis entitled Exploring Students' Disinterest in Literature in an ESL Context. So the problem statement here highlights the reason why this research is executed. The keywords are literature, pedagogical tool, not equipped, digital natives, lack of Malaysian culture and custom, and low proficiency. So the research question, there are three. The first one is, how did this disinterest exist? And second, does language and reading background cause students disinterest in literature? Third, are the choice of text right for the students in school? So the research design used for this research is the explorative research design, which is a design executed when a new zone is being explored or when little is known about an area of interest. This sums up that this design is used to explore the full nature of the phenomena and other factors related to it. Two methods, which are interview and classroom observation, are used to collect data, which is known as the qualitative method. So the instrumentation that I look into is firstly demographics, which highlight students' background such as gender, race, native language, grades, language and reading level proficiency. While second is the responses, perspective and insight, which will be collected from interviews with teachers and students and from classroom observation. So for the first method, which is classroom observation, for the first point, it can be seen that students are not eager to learn as there is no sense of urgency or the need to learn literature. Second point, students need teaching aids such as ICT, which are Kahoot and YouTube, which are good aids to keep them attentive. And the third point, the outcome from peer pressure. The students find the need to fit in and be acknowledged by their friends because it's far more important than learning and scoring. So this sums up the classroom observation data. So moving on to interview. For the first point, it can be seen that students do not understand what they are reading and fail to relate to the text. For the second point, the need to get acknowledged and be accepted by their friends is far more important than learning. For the third point, which is each teaching methods, if teacher fail to teach the student English firsthand, of course the student will fail to comprehend anything related to the language, which cause disinterest. So for the fourth point, which is lack of Malaysian values and context, the texts are too foreign and students are not knowledgeable enough to know about other foreign country custom and value. So if you don't have the knowledge, you don't understand what is going on. So for the fifth point, which is choice of vocabulary, students cannot guess the meaning nor relate it to their native language. And lastly, students' attention span are low and they need a diverse lesson in class to be attentive. So to sum up what is resulted from the whole thesis. The first point, students can't understand what they are reading as their foundation in English is too poor. Second, students feel the need to be acknowledged by their friends, hence to avoid bad judgment. Students fail to see the need of English. Third, students are afraid to try and no exposure in speaking English as no one bothered to do so with them. Fourth, students require teaching aids such as YouTube, Kahoot to learn and be attentive in the classroom during literature class. And the fifth one is texts are too foreign for these students, hence they turn a blind eye. While lastly, there are no familiar issues and values that are familiar to these students for them to relate. So that marks the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time.